Hello and good morning, YouTube. It's 7:45 a.m. Sunday, September 3rd, 2023, and I made it through my shift at HelloFresh last mile. I love working here, and John, the manager, very happy to see me back. The one shift lead, I'm not 100% sure if he recognized me. The other shift lead was really happy to see me back. In fact, he was telling me stories of low-quality people that they've got from Wonolo since I was here last. So it's actually been over a month since I was here. The last time I think I was here was, I was checking my Wonolo app, and I think it was August 31st. So, as I've said before, this is hands down my favorite Wonolo gig. So, I did show him the stuff that I was the issue, and told him about the issues and stuff that I've been having with Wonolo, and that's probably why I'm not getting the push throughs. But he says that, yeah, I'm on a list of people that he prefers, and it's a short list of like 7 people that notices are supposed to go out to me first. So he suggested I just send an email to Wonolo, and and in hindsight's always 20/20. When I showed up to HelloFresh like 3 weeks ago-ish, and popped the trunk and realized, oh crap, I don't have my hoodie. I'm not going to be able to go in there and work. What I should have done is, instead of getting so frustrated and then leaving and then getting more frustrated, what I should have done is gone in to the vestibule. Don't log in and start working, but gone into the vestibule and seen if the Wonolo rep was inside the vestibule. Most likely he was. And talk to him and see if they could talk to somebody at HelloFresh. And I feel like there's enough management that favors me at HelloFresh that somebody would recognize me and grab me and employ. They do have jackets for employees. Technically, I'm not an employee. I'm a contractor through Wonolo. I'm a temp. But I'm a temp that's there on a very regular basis. It's been coming in there for 2 months. That's on a preferred list. I mean, I've been mentioning, I got an email last week about how I'm so preferred by them. And that wasn't for, regarding HelloFresh Last Mile. That was regarding the regular HelloFresh production facility where the food boxes are made. So, odds are one of two things could have happened. One, somebody from HelloFresh would have been like, oh yeah, that's Daniel, we want him. And went and got a jacket. And of course, hey, you gotta get this back to us at the end of the shift. Of course I do. Yeah, not a problem. I don't know where the fuck my hoodie is. I'll make sure I'm double check. I won't let this happen again. I know where it's at right now. It's in the damn trunk of the car. At least I think it's in the trunk of the car. If it didn't go that way, at least I would have made contact with somebody with Wonolo who could have put something in the system and maybe canceled me without a penalty. Or something. Or maybe even adjusted my start time so I could have an hour to either find a Goodwill and get another hoodie or go home and look for my hoodie. Anyway, it's ancient history now, but I'm still dealing with it because of my reduced penalty status. Now, how I've gotten to 3, where it shows I have 3 strikes as opposed to 1, I can't explain that. And maybe I have some messages in an inbox in the Wonolo app someplace that I just am not aware of. But generally speaking, everything from them comes through email, and I don't think I've got any additional emails from them. Speaking of websites I need to look after, going through the vlogs that I'm posting, where I'm like now about 6, in fact, yeah, I'm exactly 6 weeks behind because I'm working on Sunday, July 23rd. That's what I'm editing video for at the moment. And not at the moment. At the moment, I'm driving down Cardinals Way. But that's what's currently being worked on, and my progress saved in iMovie on Obama, or not Obama phone, on my iPhone 7 Plus. Shooting video on my iPhone 7 Plus, by the way. The 6S Plus is on the charger. Still has kind of a wonky screen, so I've quit editing video on it. Yeah, I saw that and it reminded me that kind of a recent one that I did, that my my PayPal is messed up, and consequently also my Songbook DB is messed up, and it's been messed up for over a month and a half, and I just completely forgot, slipped my mind. I haven't been working on my karaoke. I haven't had any karaoke gigs. I'm not using my Songbook DB. It doesn't mean I don't want it there. That's still in place to promote my business. It's a website on my business cards, which I've been distributing for years. So, yeah, I need to handle that. Today's not the day to do it. It's a Sunday. Although, I don't know, it seems like Sean from songbookdb.com, seems like he just works 24/7. I do hope someday to be able to travel to Australia and actually meet him, because we've had some interesting email conversations, and that guy is just a diehard karaoke junkie. I think if him and I went out to a karaoke bar, he would know exactly the best one to go to, and we would have a blast. Oh, so I do work today at MLS. I want to say I work today at Hertz. I work for MLS. I work at Hertz. I know I kind of use that stuff interchangeably. The last shift I had there was pretty impressive, and I feel like I made a lot of points, especially with like some management level people at Hertz, just because a lot of MLS drivers are kind of known for doing the bare minimum, and meanwhile I'm walking down the stairs and walking across the lot and bringing the dollar cars up to the customers that have been waiting way too long to get cars. Whereas everybody else, I don't know. I run solo out here. I'm the maintenance guy. So, love that mansion on the left. One of these days I need to turn my phone when I go by there. There's a spectacular mansion right there on the north side of the road, right where I just passed. And I'm sure they hate the fact that this is a major thoroughfare now. I bet when they built that, this was a back road that ended right around there and had no plans of continuing on. But it wouldn't have taken a big futurist to realize that at some point along the alignment of 6,000 North, Bethany's going to be extended. Of course, to predict that it would be renamed Cardinals Way, yeah, probably not. Although I think it's called Bethany when we get this far in. I don't know. I can't see the street signs from here. I still haven't figured out exactly where it changes names from Cardinals Way to Bethany. And nothing against the Cardinals, but I just wish they would have left it Bethany the entire way. I find names changing on things to just be a source of confusion, including but not limited to street names. So yeah, I need to take care of my Songbook DB. Need to take care of my PayPal, and I should do something about eBay. Apparently, I'm still in good standing with eBay, which is ridiculous because I literally completely blew off my last 2 orders, and I want to contact the customers and apologize and surprise them by going ahead and shipping their items anyway. They're items I've been sitting on forever. They have 0 resale value. If these people really want them, I don't even care about the money. The one guy ordered I'm having trouble remembering if it's, I want to say, a Gatlin Brothers band album on vinyl that has surface noise, and I described it as having surface noise. Somebody that actually wants that record, I want them to have it. I've got a pristine copy in my collection. That's just music I want to spread the love of. The other thing, I think, was a Saw widescreen DVD. And at this point, I mean, DVD as a format is just completely devalued. But I'm trying to remember why I listed that. I'm not a huge fan of the Saw franchise, but I do collect films, and I think I probably have it on Blu-ray. Or maybe I'm sitting on 2 copies of the DVD. I'm not sure. But again, like it was in my eBay inventory, and it's been there for ages, not selling, because I wanted to get rid of it. So if somebody really wants that, I want them to have it. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry you've been waiting a month and a half for your movie. I've had a lot going on. If you still want it, it's on the way. Anyway, I want to get that done. I need to get home. I need to get some sleep. I'm tired. HelloFresh was, like I said, it was great working there today. I felt so appreciated, and people glad to see me. Now, there was one gal from Wonolo that was getting kind of short with me, and I don't think and she's probably been there for the last, my guess, she's probably been there for the last 3 weeks. And I don't think she realizes that the roughly, that the 4 weeks before that, I was there all the time. And she was kind of talking to me like I was an idiot, and I'm just like, and then she bounced. But I did overhear somebody say that something to her regarding Wonolo. So, I don't know. She seemed to be in a bad mood, and I think she just thought I was too close to her. Like, she kind of snapped at me like, I'm working this side, you can go work that side. Okay. At this point, like, I've learned most everything that is done in that building on that shift. So I don't stay in just one place doing one thing. I generally keep moving wherever I do the work that's the closest to me, and try to do the least amount of backtracking. So if I carry a box that takes me to the other side of the conveyor, then rather than walking back around the conveyor, we have one long conveyor runs the length of the building. It's a manual conveyor. We got to push the boxes down it. If I gotta walk, if I find myself on the other side of the conveyor, I start working the other side of the conveyor until what I'm working brings me back to the other side. So I don't know what her beef was, but yeah, the whole reason I was on that side is because I pretty much eliminated every box that was on the side I was working on that needed to be done. And there were plenty of boxes on that. Like, she wasn't keeping up like I was keeping up. But anyway, that was the only awkward moment. Other than that, it was just great to be back. The one lead there, and I wish I knew his name, but we've had some great, first really great conversation him and I had was about Ruthie's terrible taste in music. And I get the feeling Ruthie's just not there anymore. Ooh, we got a bad accident here. Yikes. Oh, wow. That truck, the front end of it's up on the support lines for the power poles. And there's a truck smashed in behind it. But, you know, so many Phoenix drivers think there's nothing wrong with speeding. Nothing wrong with criminal speeding. Nothing wrong with passing on the right. Nothing wrong with tailgating. But the accident statistics in Phoenix tell a completely different story. Wow, big swap meet going on to my right at the drive-in theater. And that's been going on for decades. I guess I just kind of forgot about it. Glendale swap meet on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, the last thing I need to be doing is going to swap meets. Besides, I live like right next to Park and Swap, which is, I believe, the largest swap meet in Arizona. I do need to go there. Rob told me about a guy there that has something I need for my car, and that's another thing I need to get handled. I just keep putting off. And I need to mail stuff to my daughter Allison as well. Obviously, I'm not getting that done until at the earliest Tuesday, since post offices are never open on Sundays, and all post offices are closed tomorrow for the holiday. So today, normally Sunday evenings are very, very busy down at Hertz with returns. We just have insane amounts of people returning cars at the end of the weekend. But it's holiday week, and it's not going to be the end of the weekend. I honestly think it's going to be kind of dead. I don't think we're going to have a lot of people waiting for cars. I think that chaos happened Saturday, or happened Friday. I would imagine there was probably some of it still happening on Saturday, from what I was hearing about canceled flights at the airport, and just the overall, you know, with rental cars, like everything, it's all about supply and demand, and the demand on Friday was greatly beyond what the supply was, and I expect that carried into Saturday. But I would imagine it's reached a balance by now, and the rush of people that we normally have turning in on Sunday, I think we're going to get that tomorrow night. Now, I do expect tomorrow night at the rental car center to be absolutely insane, and I hope to God we've got some new drivers, because I think I'm going to need somebody rolling with me. Now, I don't think I mentioned that one thing I've been doing a whole lot more of my last day at MLS, at the car rental center, moving cars for Hertz, because the day before I worked for an hour and a half and punctured a tire. I am reasonably convinced I'm one of maybe 4 drivers with MLS that would not have gotten fired for that. I mean, don't make no mistake. I got my ass chewed, but at least I know now that if I call Rob, or I get to work and I start working and I come to Rob and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, dude, I'm fatigued and I should probably go home, I'm not going to get any flack for it. He's not going to think it's just me not wanting to work. I think I've already proved that I will push myself harder than I should. So, anyway, what I was doing Friday was a new thing. Is I'm working more with I forget his name. Anthony, not Anthony, the night shift manager for MLS, but Anthony, the dwarf who handles the electric cars. The more time I spend with him, the more I like him. He kind of creeped me out a little bit when I first met him, but let's just say he's not very easy on the eyes. But and he's also got a bit of a speech impediment, which is something that, generally speaking, that sort of thing bugs me. And I know it shouldn't, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But as I'm getting to know him, I'm looking past that, and he's actually been super helpful. He's been teaching me a lot about how the things work with the electric cars and the different procedures and stuff for electric cars. And he showed me how to do something there that somehow nobody else had shown me how to do. I've been parking cars in stalls now for weeks. All right, another motorcycle stopping at the red light and deciding to just go ahead and run it. Yeah, I just edited a video to upload where that happened. I can put those two together. Make a minute short of motorcycles running red lights in Phoenix. So, as I was saying, Little Anthony. Sometimes he gets referred to as Little Anthony. I feel bad calling him that, but I mean, there's two guys there named Anthony. You know, you got to kind of distinguish them. He's about 4 foot tall, so you know, which is funny because it was a point. I remember one time I was moving one of the cars and the seat was pushed all crazy forward to the point I could barely get my legs in the thing, and the seat was all raised up in this awkward position, and I got it and I'm like, what the hell is up with this car seat? Was a midget fucking driving this? And now it's occurred to me that yeah, probably that's exactly what happened. La la la, not like I know now how to adjust the seat. So no, he's been teaching me more of the stuff about the electric cars. So now, pretty much what my routine was as I was working solo on Friday is whenever I was ready to go upstairs, and by upstairs I mean into the rental car center from the Hertz lot. I don't know why everybody calls it upstairs. Well, I mean, I get why people call it upstairs because it's up a ramp. It's not upstairs though, it's up ramp. There are no stairs to get there. You literally have to drive there. There is no pedestrian route. Now I did see somebody walking it, and it was actually when I was following Little Anthony with an electric car. I was in a Polestar, he was in a Tesla, and I was following him because he was going to show me where to put something, and then he was going to show me something I need to do when I put the electric cars out for rent. And there was actually somebody walking up the ramp. I'm assuming another MLS driver, but not somebody I'm familiar with. And I was just like, oh wow, because the ramp is narrow. I mean, as I said, I had an incident on Tuesday where this kind of stuff, but that kind of side barrier, they have a temporary kind where it's separate pieces that can be moved around, and that's what is in between the part of the ramp that's used by customers returning cars and then the up and the down lanes for the Hertz drivers to go down to the Hertz line. And it's narrow. There's no pedestrian space there. It'd be nice if there was. Most of the other rental car lots that are adjacent to the rental car center have pedestrian routes to them. As I said, I was bringing up dollar cars at the end of my shift on Friday because I could walk down to the lot, down the stairs. It was a bit of a walk, but I could do it. Yeah, there is really no safe way to walk from the rental car center down to the Hertz lot. Just assume everybody's driving that. So, I forget. Totally forgot where I was going with this. Oh, I'm being all surprised that there's no traffic backup, and it just hit me. Oh, it's Sunday. Like, why did I even come this route? I could have just got on the damn freeway. Just not thinking. I'm just thinking in my head. Normally at this time of the morning, I don't want to get stuck in traffic. Oh, what's up with those giant tanks on the right? That's new. Used to be a discount furniture place right there. Like I bought a DVD player or something like that from them. They used to do closeout furniture from hotels, and they would get some electronics from hotels as well. Guess that Mazda didn't realize what lane he needed to be in, and now he's kind of blocking the adjacent lane. But he's got California plates, so I guess I'll let it slide. That's alright. It's fun to drive down Cardinals Way, damn it. So, oh, anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so when I'm down on the Hertz lot, when I take a maintenance car down, once I get down there, there's generally stuff I need to do, because there's other people that are bringing maintenance cars. They bring it to the gatekeeper line. I take the cars off the gatekeeper line, put little colored plastic hats on them. They call them hats. They're just little plastic things with magnets on them that stick to the car that makes it easily identifiable what the issue is with the car. And then I put them in lines with ones with matching ones. And then there's other areas I put them in, but I sort them out. Well, there's several different people in different areas that will bring the cars down, and sometimes the up-down drivers will bring them down there as well. They don't know how to sort them. They don't do that. I do that. So I'll just put them in the gatekeeper line. So when I bring one down, I generally look and see how much is in the gatekeeper line, and if it's starting to get backed up, I'll clear them all out. It's kind of a balancing act I do, trying to keep the gatekeeper line clear. But sometimes I won't clear it all the way, but also keeping the maintenance line clear, the two maintenance lines clear upstairs. The one that I gotta watch the most is the one for Dollar, because the Dollar return space is really small, and they often run out of space. And if I'm not keeping up on my stuff, that'll impact it quickly. After about 4 or 5 cars, like, it's a problem. And it's amazing how quickly we can suddenly have $4 or $5 returns that need to go to maintenance for whatever reason. So anyway, my routine up until Friday had been, if I didn't have somebody driving with me, to take a clean car, bring it up, and if I knew where it went, I would put it where it went. And if I didn't know where it went, I'd put it in the flimp ramp, which is the area where they just go, because they need to go up and they need to be sorted. And some of the guys that wash cars will put them up there as well. Those guys don't know how to put them in there neatly. I don't know what their deal is, but they just don't. So I've changed that now that I know what's up with the electric cars. Instead of bringing those, I just let the up-down drivers deal with those, and I bring the electrics because little Anthony needs more help than they do. Now, he actually did have a driver working with him last night, a woman I've never seen before, kind of a short, thick black woman. Seemed pretty nice. I didn't really get a chance to just kind of sit and talk with her, but she seemed all right. I think she was a little confused by what I was doing, because I think her and little Anthony were kind of working as a team. And she's like, "Why is this guy doing electric?" And I would imagine she just explained, it's like, "Oh, that's Daniel. He's maintenance, but he just does, whatever on top of that." But yeah, one thing he showed me was. So that's what I got sidetracked on. There's these little paper tickets that go in them after they're washed, Sometimes they get lost. That's a whole other thing. But if they're done complete, I saw a memo about it. It wasn't a memo to me. It's a memo to the guys that wash the cars. And everything's all right and they're ready to be rented, it'll have a barcode on it. Well, I finally learned what the barcode is for. And apparently, if you put it in a stall, surprise, surprise, when you put a rental car in a stall for Hertz, not for dollar, whole different routine with dollar. You're supposed to scan the barcode, then key in your ID number, which is my ID number on the time clock for MLS, which of course I still haven't memorized yet because I'm terrible with numbers. I always have to look it up on my phone. And now that I'm putting in this machine, I'm going to learn it quicker. I'm typing it more than twice a day. So, key in your number, and then you key in the parking spot, or also known as the stall number, where you put the car. I can't believe nobody told me I was supposed to do that. Now, I've been told it's not a big deal if it doesn't get done. Somebody else will come along and do it. They can still rent the cars if it wasn't done. But if somebody's looking for a specific car and it didn't get keyed in where it's at, nobody knows. Of course nobody knows. Anyway, I had no idea I was supposed to do that. I for whatever reason, nobody thought it was something I needed to tell me. And maybe it's mostly just the electric cars. Since the electric car, more of the electric cars, it's not important on the other ones. But at this point, I'm doing it with all of them that I can have a ticket. Because I know how to do it. I figure I need to practice and then help me learn my ID number. But yeah, I've successfully got a handful of cars on chargers, and I'm learning where the various charging stations are upstairs. Learning the routine on the chargers that are down in the Hertz area. And learning how to use some of the deeper menus on the Polestars and on the Tesla 3s. Now, since I've been doing the electrics, I haven't messed with any of the Chevy Volts whatsoever. There's two different models of the Kias that we have. The one is called the EV6. I forget what the other one is called. Say nerd. That can't be right. It's a 4-letter word, and I think it starts with N. We don't have very many of those. You only see those ones in a blue moon. Mostly the Kia electrics are the EV6. Well, speaking of the EV6, I had a moment in an EV6 on Friday as well. Met one of the managers. Now, she said she usually works days, so that's probably why she's never seen me before. But I was bringing a car with a cracked windshield into the glass area, which is the farthest removed area of all the areas that I go to in Hertz. And I go over there, and I see a vehicle with a trunk pop. That's kind of a signal that a vehicle needs moved. Like, that's something they'll do. They'll pop trunk means a vehicle needs moved. Popped, I don't know if the word would be pop, but a windshield wiper that's flipped up, that's usually an indication that some idiot lost the keys. It's sad how frequently that happens. I only ever lost one key. I didn't lose it. I just, at the end of my shift, I emptied my pockets and realized I had a key in my pocket. I'm like, why the fuck is that in my pocket? And after I clocked out, I walked a lot until I found the car it belonged in, and I put it back in it. And I'm reasonably sure nobody tried to move it in the meantime. So it never impacted anybody. But yeah, there's quite often I see cars that are moved, and obviously it got moved by somebody that works there. It's not in a place where a customer would have brought it, and the key is gone. Fabulous. Flip up the windshield wiper so they know, yeah, there's another car where some moron lost the key. So anyway, I see a trunk popped up, so I walk up to it to look at the car, and I'm startled to see somebody back there. Because at night, like, it's me. I'm the only one that goes there, especially after the shop closes at 8. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't see anybody there, like, after about 5 p.m. but me, especially after the sun goes down. So I'm kind of startled to see somebody there. And she was moving all of her stuff out of like she had some personal stuff out of because if you're working in a position, generally speaking, you take a car, not one that's available to rent, but just a maintenance car, something that's waiting to get work done on, and that's your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Now, for me, since my job is moving vehicles, generally speaking, I walk to the vehicles, I move them. But if I have somebody working with me, I drive one of those around called the Shag and take the person that's working with me to get them. At least until I can get somebody that's trained as good as Glenn was, they can drive me around. I only get that pleasure when I'm working with Keontae or Andre, or occasionally Emmanuel, the French guy, who is terrible at it. But I'm not going to tell him that he, that's what he wants to do, and that's fine. I only work with him for, generally speaking, less than an hour, so I just put up with it. But yeah, she's like changing vehicles, and I never met her before. Introduced each other, talked a little bit, and she asked me to follow her. Like, she was wanting me to bring it somewhere up for some other Hertz manager, and she's like, "Well, just follow me. I'll show you where." And it was a Kia EV6. First thing I do when I sit down on the radio, or when I sit down in the car, especially if I'm waiting on somebody else, and I was, is I try to find something to listen to on the radio. I'm a music person. That's probably 50% of the reason why I love that job so much, is I'm driving around brand new cars and listening to the radio most of the time, and it just puts me in a happy place. I get to hear so much random music. I never know what kind of music a car is going to bless me with. It could be oldies, it could be, with XM radio in there, it could be literally anything. And then also put on top of it, FM radio, occasionally AM radio. KAZG on 1440 is actually one of my favorite radio stations. They're also on FM and also on HD radio. And yeah, many of them have HD radio on them as well. So anyway, I adjust the volume and I turn it up kind of loud. Not loud, but kind of loud. Anyway, I roll up next to her and I roll down the window, and she's saying something to me, and I can't hear her, and I'm trying to turn the volume knob down. I'm trying to turn the volume on the radio, and these cars are so computerized. Somehow what was the volume knob for the radio turned into the thermostat for the climate controls for the left side of the car, the driver's side of the car. When it goes into climate control mode, I have no idea on an EV6 how to turn it, how I go about turning down the radio. I have no idea. I never did figure it out. But she thought I heard her, and of course I didn't. And I'm trying to turn down the radio, and then she drives off because she said something to me, but I couldn't hear her. I ended up driving over, try to park near her and a little bit farther away, and I step out and I walk to her. I'm like, "Yeah, I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you over the radio. I tried to turn it down, but the knob I turned it up with turned into a thermostat." She started laughing at me. She's like, "Yeah, it did that to me too. I don't know how to change it back." I said, "I don't either." And we both had a good laugh at the car. And I never did turn the volume down. So whoever gets in that car next is going to hear that station I believe when they start the car, they're going to hear it at that. And it would have been a Hertz manager. So whatever. I moved it where she wanted it for him. I don't see it being a problem. It's not like I had it just blasting, but someday I need to figure out how to change that mode on a Kia EV6. Getting better with the Tesla 3s. I still hate the whole concept of one touch screen to control everything in a car. But I'm home. I need to get some sleep. Enjoy getting the extra work. This is nowhere near the money I normally make on a weekend. working a couple shifts at HelloFresh production, but not nearly as many hours. It just felt good to be back at HelloFresh. Last mile really, really felt good to be back there. So all these other things I'm saying I need to take care of, yeah, not happening today. It's a holiday weekend. Not like I'm taking a holiday. I'm working. Got to do my other job at 2 in the afternoon, so I need to get my sleep now. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the drive.